Hello my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about several simple tips that you can do that will instantly make you richer. Now, I became a self-made millionaire by the time I was 24, but I actually grew up very poor. In fact, I was raised in New York in one of the worst sections of the Bronx. And when I was growing up, I heard a lot of people tell me what I couldn't do and where I couldn't go and even who I couldn't be. And the people I lived around seemed to have a lot of limitations in their lives. And oftentimes I wondered, what exactly do I have to do to get on the other side? What do I have to do to become richer? Well, as I started growing up, I started realizing that if I wanted to become a wealthy person, I needed to study wealthy ideas. And, wealthy ideas like the people who are wealthy, places to go that have a lot of wealth, and even understanding money. And eventually I started going really deep into the subject. And today I want to share with you 5 things specifically that I did in my early 20s that allowed me to get closer to those wealthy ideals. The first wealthy idea that I started understanding very closely was the food that I ate. When I was growing up, I always used to eat fast food. When my mom made something I didn't like, I would easily run out to, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. And I really didn't like that food. I tolerated it, but it wasn't my first choice. Ideally, I liked steak. I liked pasta. I liked a whole bunch of different foods that I felt wasn't available to me. So I limited to myself not only because of what was available to me, but also because of my finances. I let my money tell me what to do. Now, when I started going to, let's just say, McDonald's, I would see a burger and fries and maybe a drink for $5, $6, and I would buy it. Now, eventually I realized that, if I kept doing this, I'm going to stay where I'm at. So I started looking for better ideas that will help me to get a better burger. So I started going to better restaurants, and I started getting a $10 or $12 burger. Eventually I saw the other side of the menu and I saw that steak was available, but steak was $20. I said to myself, I don't know exactly if I could afford that right now, but I know next time or next month I will be able to do that. And so eventually what I started to do was I started upselling my own self. I started from a $1 burger at McDonald's to a $10 burger at another restaurant, which eventually became a $20 steak, and now a $100 dry-aged 28-day steak. And what I'm saying is that if you start small or start where you are and you start building up in flavor and start choosing better foods, eventually you're going to find yourself in better places. You'll have more ways to earn more money to get to where you want to go, and you'll be able to enjoy life on a higher level. And it all starts with the food that you eat. So try to eat better foods by searching for better places that serve the food that you would like to eat. My second idea is to visit upscale malls. Now, most of the places that people shop are really on the lower end. A lot of people go to bargain stores or they go to malls, and really 90% of people shop in these areas, and it doesn't give them the luxuries that they're really looking for. Now, what I would suggest to you is to search for upscale malls. Stores that have Nordstrom's and Bloomingdale's and Lord & Taylor's and very fancy diamond stores. And start visiting those stores and get a grasp of what really good customer service feels like. Get an understanding of what it feels like to feel silk and wool and all these nice jackets and scarves and hats and shoes and purses and wallets, and really understand what it feels like to be wealthy. Try it on and start feeling it. Start understanding that you'll have it one day and start working your way up to it. Now, you might try an item that's $1,000 and at the time you can't afford it, but you can buy something really small so that you can become a customer at that store. For me, I had a pair of khaki pants. It was $80, and for me, I was used to paying $20 for khakis, and I reasoned with myself that those khakis would be pretty good. And it was. It lasted me for more than 5 years. And what I started to do was I started to buy more of those khaki pants, and eventually I started buying suits at that store. Now, like I said, start small, right? Whether you pay $10 or $20, we all have that. And start acclimating yourself. Start getting used to putting yourself in that position of wealth by shopping at these upscale malls. The third wealthy idea that you can start doing right away is to get acquainted with cars that you really like. And a lot of us drive cars that we don't like. You know, we get stuck with good deals. We go to the car dealership and the salesman sells us something we don't want and we end up settling for it. So what I'm saying is don't settle. You see, if you like a Ferrari, go out there and test drive a Ferrari. If you like Lamborghinis, go and find out what a Lamborghini feels like. For me, I liked Rolls Royces and Bentleys. And unfortunately, I had to be 25 in order to test drive one. Now, I wasn't 25, and even when I became a millionaire at 24, they didn't even allow me to test drive it, and I told them straight up I can buy it. But either way, what I learned is that if you sit in those cars and if you start feeling the engine and the leather and the way it feels, you're going to start getting accustomed to what it feels like to drive a really good car. So go to the car dealership, talk to the salesperson, and ask them if you can get a test drive. You can start with Volvos, BMWs, Mercedes, Audis, whatever it is, and then work your way up into the car of your true desires. The fourth wealthy idea that you can start doing right away is to visit multi-million-dollar homes. For me, I was born in very poor areas, so I was used to living in basements and attics and small cramped apartments, and eventually we lived in a small house, but it still wasn't really what I wanted to live in. Now, what I started to do was I started to visit big houses, multi-million-dollar mansions, and I started to see things that I never really understood. For instance, I saw things that I didn't even know I didn't know, like marble countertops, and big landscapes, and marble floors, and 6 bathrooms, and 10 bedrooms, and things like that, swimming pools. And I started understanding that there's so much out there that I really need to start seeing more of houses like these. And I started seeing realtors, I started talking to people that own those houses, and understanding the mindset of what it really takes to own those types of mansions. And eventually, I bought my own house. I live in a really big house now, and it's because I've started by looking at other people's houses and understanding that I could eventually own one myself. So get your nearest realtors and get your questions answered if you want to know how rich people live. Number 5, do wealthy events. Now there's so many things to do, but there's a lot of wealthy events that are available to you. Wealthy events like going to a museum or to an art gallery or to a zoo or aquarium, and start taking in nature. Start going to places where you see portraits and understand what it's like to be in the rooms with people who think on a higher level. You see, once you surround yourself with rich people and rich ideas, you eventually will learn what it takes to become a rich person. Now, all of these things, as I said, it's going to take time, right? You don't just do this overnight. You have to go out and mark these events and start understanding what it really takes to become wealthy by partaking in these wealthy ideas. Eventually, you'll find yourself getting them, doing them, and becoming part of them because you have become a wealthy person. Thank you for watching my videos, my friends. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and all the other social media links that you see on the screen, and make sure that you follow me so we can keep in touch. My friends, I want to give you so much more. Obviously, there's so much to learn. So keep following me, and I'm going to share with you the best that I have to offer. So stay tuned.